Welcome back to the MUSB Dugout, everyone. I'm Scott Hall, and today I am joined by one of the first to suit up for Marshall softball, as well as a Marshall Athletics Hall of Famer, Jeanne Lunsford, better known to Marshall fans as Jeanne Noble. Now, Jeanne played for Marshall in 1994 and 95 after spending her first 2 years at Morehead State. Jeanne, how are you doing today?
Oh, doing great, doing great. Thank you for having me.
Oh, definitely. Always glad to try and talk to, especially some of the original ones because, I got here after you all had played, didn't get to see some of you play, didn't get to talk to you all. So, this has been great for me too, not just being able to talk to players that obviously I was here for, but to, for you all on the original side.
Right, you can say it. We're the old players. It's okay.
Well, this team, they're coming up on Team 28 now, and
Wow.
well, but here's the thing. The first team that I got to see when I was a freshman was the team in 2001. So there haven't been a whole lot of teams that I've missed, so
Right.
I've kind of been around for a little bit too. But let everyone know what you've been up to since your playing days were over.
Well, I started coaching in 1997 at Cabell Midland High School, and I coached for 21 years at the high school there. 17 of those I was the head coach, and so I guess it was 4 years that I was the assistant coach. And so coaching softball's been a part of my life since I literally was 5 years old. So I resigned as coach in 2018, I believe, was maybe my last year. So it was just time for me to give it to somebody else and get out of it. And I really struggled with how I was going to handle not being a part of a softball program. But like I said, it was time. And so I've been teaching elementary school. I'm at Milton Elementary. I teach 5th grade. So I get to hang out with 10-year-olds all day long. And then I went and I hung out with some high school girls, during my coaching time. So like I said, softball's been a part of my life for many, many years, almost all my life. So I've enjoyed the sport, and I continue to enjoy watching Marshall and all their successes.
Okay, well, let's travel back in time a little bit here, back to Milton High School. You were a multi-sports,
Oh,
so okay, you said you had been playing softball since you were 5, but you were also named first team All-State softball, volleyball, and basketball. You were quite busy in high school.
well, I guess they had to keep me busy, keep me out of trouble, I guess. But no, I enjoy competition. I enjoy just sports in general. But I think it's important for kids to do everything that they can. I know a lot of kids are now, going for a one team or one sport career, and whatever they choose is fine. But I think the more you get out there, the more you can play and become a well-rounded athlete, your chances are better. So, I enjoyed high school. I enjoyed playing. I had great coaches and great support from my whole family. So, yeah, high school. Wow, I didn't know you were going back that far. So,
You got to start back somewhere. Now, what positions did you play in your other sports, in volleyball and basketball?
oh well, we played so long ago in volleyball. We didn't have really specialists, so we played all the way around. But
Okay.
I guess I was more of an outside. I was outside hitter. In my younger days and thinner days, I could jump a little bit, so I was more of a hitter. And in basketball, I was down low all the time and played center and forward position, or post position. But yeah, and I actually was a cheerleader, believe it or not, all the way
Okay.
through my 10th grade year in high school. So
Well,
then I
then you
gave
were
that up. To
well, then you were definitely active all the time. Now,
right.
were there any other sports that were a possibility for college, or for you, was it softball all the way?
Well, actually, my favorite sport was probably basketball. Softball came more natural to me, so basketball had to work out a little bit or a lot, and I enjoyed that part of it. It was continuous, and And when I was younger, I didn't mind the running as much. So basketball was, yeah, I was interested in basketball, and there were a couple of small schools in the state that um, were looking at me in basketball. And actually, one was going to say I could play both. Actually, they were so small, they said I could play all three and didn't even have to come to volleyball practice. I could just come to volleyball games. but but anyway, they no, basketball was my favorite sport at that time. But softball just gave me so many more opportunities.
Okay. I now Marshall didn't have a team yet, but what was it about Morehead that sold you on going to play for the Eagles?
Well, their coach had come and talked to me a few times, and just he really showed an interest in me. Anytime anybody shows an interest in you, you you're apt to go toward them. But it was close to home. 80. I think it was 82 miles exactly from my parents' driveway to Morehead, and I'm a homebody. I guess I'm the baby of the family, so I wanted to be close to home. But an hour and 15 minutes wasn't too bad. So, Morehead was close. My parents could come and watch. And they did. Every home game we had, they drove. And even with Marshall, they went to every game I ever had. So they were able to support me there. And I had 2 great years there. I enjoyed it. It's just my family was growing, and my grandparents were getting ill. And I just sort of wanted to be home. So I thought it was time for me to go.
So was that pretty much kind of your reasons for transferring to Marshall then once they got the program? It was your opportunity to no longer the 82 miles. You were a heck of a lot closer.
Right, right. Actually, I was ready. I thought I was finished playing softball after my sophomore year. We were losing our coach, getting a whole new program. I just didn't know if I wanted to start down there with a new coach. And my mom said, well, Marshall makes me starting up a program. So I said, well, I'll definitely would like to come home if and even if I don't play, if the coach doesn't want me at Marshall, then, I'm still coming home. But, Louie Burnt, I tell you, she's my hero. she's awesome. So, they're just coming home, and softball was an opportunity again. So.
Well, she definitely talked about how great it was to be able to get you and then obviously Heather Michaelis coming in as leaders. That's actually, kind of my next question. I mean, so what was that like for you that first year? Because, I mean, you're a fresh face there just like everybody else, but you and Heather, you're the upperclassmen. You two had the playing experience. What's that like?
Well, when I came in, Heather wasn't there the first semester. She had to stay at Ohio State for that first semester. So I was it. I mean, I was the one who drove everybody to practice because I had a car, and so it was. I don't know. It was I was new, so I felt like I was one of the freshmen still. I didn't feel like they had to look up to me or respect me because I was older. No, I was new to this program just like they were. So we all came in fresh, and we all just wanted to really play ball. So it was really just a nice experience, a nice change, and it really, gosh, it changed my whole career in softball when I came to Marshall.
Now that first year you all played at Rotary Park, correct? I mean, what was that like?
We did. We actually practiced in the fall. We practiced at Fairland High School. So we would get out of class, and we had our classes had to be finished by 1 or something like that, or 2. And then we get in the car at Henderson Center, and we'd all pile in my car, a couple of girls' cars, and we'd drive to Fairland, and we practiced for 4 hours. And then, I had to drive people back, and then I would go home. And then we played at Rotary Park, and I think maybe in the springtime we maybe practiced there too. But when we started playing there, we didn't have our own field. We didn't feel like it was home, and we knew it was coming. We knew we were getting a field, but that didn't hold us back really any. We were proud to be a part of the Hurd family and continue just to play. And we were nervous, those first few games. Gosh, we were so nervous. But we really, Louis always made us felt like we were going to be successful, and we just want that. We just wanted to play. That's it.
Well, and unfortunately, you ended up missing a chunk of games in there with an injury. Was that hard to kind of sit there and watch that, especially after you had been so active there through high school
Right.
with all your sports?
Right. Well, absolutely. That's the worst. So when the kids get injured, I do feel bad for them. We were on our way to our Florida trip for spring break, and we had stopped to play at Liberty, and instead of sliding into third base, I thought I'm just going to reach and touch it, and I'd have been safe either way. But when I tried to reach, my ankle rolled, and and I think I still remember that. I think I rolled down left field the line on left field, acting like I was 5 years old, and my leg was falling off. I remember Louie just saying, "Stop! Just stop crying and screaming." But anyway, yeah, I was out for 14 days. But those are some of the best memories I had, because we took 2 vans to all of our games. Now sometimes I even had to drive the van, because I'd have to drive. One time I drove. Heather and I were going to switch off driving to Furman, and Heather got sleepy and she just took a nap, and so she slept, and I drove all the way to Furman. We got out and we played. We got up the next day, played again, and we drove home. So I made her drive home. So, but that tournament where I did get hurt, I remember telling Louie, I just want to go home. Let me go home, because I knew I was done for a while, and she wouldn't let me. And I thought, that is so mean. What are you doing? But you know what? It made me appreciate just being able to be out there. It made me appreciate my teammates. Because they encouraged me. And the trainers were excellent. They were rehabbing my ankle for three times a day. And so when the 14 days was up and I was able to test out, I barely made it through that test, but I was able to test out. And then when I came back in, I'll never forget my first game back. We were playing at Morehead. And I was able to get back into that game. And Morehead's field, well, at the time, and we didn't play with all the composite bats and all this. We had those aluminum bats that we swung. And the field was probably about 230. And the outfield fence, I don't know, was 10 feet tall. And so very few people hit home runs on that field. But the first day I was back, I was able to hit a home run on that field and being back. And it was that's one of the best memories I have. Not that I still love those people at Morehead. I played against, I was playing against some of them that I had played with, and it was just a great experience. But yeah, being injured really, it stunk. So I feel bad for the ones that do get injured.
Well, that's a pretty good feeling to get back in your first game and be able to smash one like that. Like you said, even though you still loved some of your old teammates back there, the fact that it was against your old team, kind of a nice little extra feeling there. Now, okay, so your senior year, 50 hits, team record 43 RBI, along with 8 home runs. Plus, it ends in a Southern Conference title. How did that kind of cap your senior year off?
Oh gosh, wow! It's just going from first year, we knew we were going to take losses, and we knew that we were going to get down on ourselves a little bit. But Louie was always very good. She didn't baby us. She expected us to expect ourselves to do well. So she didn't play anything down. She was tough on us at times, but coming in that second year and being able to just be successful. And I remember playing South Carolina, and I think they were ranked 6th or 8th at the time. And a bunch of we were talking, and like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? But anyway, we came out and we beat them. And I remember Stephanie Cook had an amazing game. She was a fireball anyway. But we just had a great time. But then going down to Furman is where we played for the Southern Conference Championship. And Furman was expected to win it, and they had an All-American third baseman. And we just seemed to peak at the right time. We had gotten down, I don't know how many kids we really started with, teammates we had at the beginning of the year, but we had gotten down. Some had decided to go home. I think maybe 1 or 2 were asked to go home. I don't really know, but we had gotten down to where we had 9 players. and we asked a player, or Louis asked the player that had decided not to play that year, that had played the previous year, asked that player to come back just to have us our 10th player in case someone got hurt. Well, we go down there with 10 players, and she just, of course, she decided to go with us and get on the roster. And we went down there, and it all clicked. It was an amazing feeling. I still remember I was seeing the ball like it was a beach ball coming in. And I talk to my parents about that all the time. It's like that first hit, I think, in the championship game. I knew I hit it solidly. I knew that I saw it so well. It was just like I've never seen the ball so well before. And I just knew after that, and they caught it in center field. But I thought after that, we've got this. So we're going to see it. So it just all came together. And it was such a great feeling to be able to bring back a championship.
Well, and especially so quickly too. I mean, that really helps kind of, validate things to even to martial athletics and the university to say, yes, this is going to be a successful thing, and letting it get started.
Right.
Of course, since you've already said that you had to drive vans as well, I have to ask about the abandoned van story that Louis and Christy have both talked about.
Right.
Were you there for that?
No, actually, I had gone home with my parents.
Oh.
So I missed all the fun of that one. I probably, back then, I don't even know if we had cell phones. I'm sure we would have been, if we did, we would have been, giving each other a hard time with the van. But no, I don't. I remember the stories. I remember talking about it when we came home. But, I had been home probably a few hours before they even got into that second van to go. So, no, I don't remember that. But I remember some. Like I said, driving the van down to the Furman one time and getting out and playing, and Louis. One thing with Louis, and I can't talk highly enough about her. She was just amazing, coming in and starting this program from scratch and taking her chances on a few local girls, basically, and then bringing in Heather and some girls from California, and I just appreciate those girls coming in and giving Marshall a chance, and I made great friendships with them, but Louis just absolutely started that program, and Shonda and Coach now, they're doing amazing things, but Louis was such an inspiration to me. I took a lot from her in my own coaching experience. So that's what Marshall means to me. She set me in the right direction. So.
When I got to talk to her, I love the fact that when I asked her, you went from all of these programs that had already been established for a while, and I said, what made you want to start a program from scratch? And she just goes, well, it was on my bucket list. I love it.
Wouldn't have been on mine.
Oh yeah. She was so great to talk to.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit here. Describe your emotions when you found out that you were being inducted into the Martial Athletics Hall of Fame in the class of 2016.
Oh my gosh. Todd Hicks had called and left a message on my cell phone, and I was coming out of church, and I was in the parking lot, and I was listening to her message, and I just started to cry, because she had told me before she was trying to push for me, and I thought I've only went to Marshall for 2 years, and I had some accolades that I was so grateful for, Dot Hicks Award and different things like that, Cam Henderson Award, and but never thinking Hall of Fame would be in my future. But Dot Hicks was a big supporter of mine, and I was grateful. So like I said, I was crying in the car, and I called my parents, and of course my husband, and said, "Can you believe this?" And we were just really excited and honored to be a part of that.
Well, Dot's another absolutely wonderful lady. I've had so many occasions to be able to talk to her, and she's absolutely wonderful.
She's one of the best.
Well, when you say your accolades, you didn't think were good enough. I mean, your career batting average is still 9th all time. And
Oh, wow. I didn't know.
well, I was going to ask if you knew that. I guess you didn't.
No, didn't know that at all. No, not at all.
Yeah,
Well, well,
they're
that's
definitely still
pretty
there.
awesome.
Well, you were the fourth one
That's
from the program to be inducted, following in behind Christy Waring and Sierra Davenport and Sarah Gullah. And, four more players have gone in since then. And so it looks like, again, there should be a nice little, flood of players from this program that you really helped build up and get started. And so kind of going in with that, how much does it mean to you that you were able to come back, basically play for your hometown team in your home state and help build a program, and also just really the budding popularity of the sport in the state of West Virginia?
Well, at the time when I came back, the sport wasn't as big as it is now. It was just some girls out there playing softball. Now, we were very successful in the high school level. I won my junior and senior year. We had won the championships in West Virginia. So coming back and bringing the sport some recognition that it deserved it's awesome. It was just it was amazing to have people there that we knew, and they packed the fields. When every time we played, we had huge crowds at Marshall, and I think that just helped this community. And I saw it in the high school level. If Marshall hadn't had a program, I don't think our high school successes would have been what we are. So I just think Marshall was huge in growing this sport in this entire area.
Well, I mean, obviously there are other collegiate programs in the state, but Marshall being the only Division I, I mean, it does
Right.
it does really give a lot of the local kids or even in-state kids a chance to say, hey, if I want to stay in my home state and play, I can go try and play at the Division I level.
Absolutely. Oh, there's all kinds. There's some great schools that have great softball programs in this state, and I really just felt, like you said, Division I, being able to, some of these local girls being able to go and see, can I do this? Can I play at this level? And knowing that they could play at this level, or just having the opportunities, more opportunities with the Division I and all the other schools in the state has just, it's helped out in so many ways.
Yeah. From your time coaching, what has it meant for you to see so many of your players get to go on to have successful college careers, and especially some of them, starring for your alma mater?
Oh, yeah, we, from Milton High School was where, of course, I graduated high school from. We had Laura McLaurin. She went to Milton with me, and she's still a huge supporter of Marshall softball. And, some of the girls from Cabell Midland, and we've had, oh gosh, of course, Morgan Zerkle and
Yeah.
Morgan Kelly. Morgan Kelly was part of that program. Gosh, this is how old I am. Jordan Colliflower. They've all had such great experiences there and did such great things. Ashley Gue, just different girls that from Cabell Midland. And to be honest, we've had other girls who could have played Division I at Marshall and done very well, but they know when they're 18, maybe they don't want to play softball, or maybe the opportunities for their career took them somewhere else. But I tried to push as many to Marshall as I could. I always told them, if you have the inkling that you want to try to play college softball, go for it, because you can always say, I did it. It wasn't for me. But if you don't do it, you're going to have that what if. So, Cabell Midland's been, it was great. I had a great 21 years coaching there. We were successful, and maybe not as successful in some people's eyes that, but I think we're successful. We won the state tournament many times and won it, and the kids worked hard, and I think that helped Marshall's program with some of the kids that went there from Midland.
Well, and I'm sure, especially with some of those players, Shonda was very thankful that you helped, kind of push them to the door.
Well, I was hard on the girls, and I know that, and I think I got softer in my old age, but and I remember even with Louie, I thought when I was 20 years old, 21, playing. And I thought Louie sometimes was just so hard and harsh, and I kept on telling her, Louie, you're killing us. You're running us to death. You're killing us. Heather and I especially. But and she said, one of these days, Jeannie, one of these days you're going to look back and you're going to be thankful for what I made you do. And I thought, there's no way I'm ever going to be thankful for how you ran us in the ground, physically, not emotionally,
Yeah,
anything like that.
yeah,
But we ran and ran and ran, and being an outfielder, they had so many infield plays they had to work on. So all I did was run bases, and then they'd hit some balls of the outfielders, and you're supposed to catch them. So we ran bases. We were the base runners. But anyway, Louis said, "Yeah, you'll appreciate it one day." And I look back now, I'm like, if I would have just kept that up a little bit, I wouldn't be in the shape I am now. No, but it's been great. It's been great.
Now, what are some of your best memories from your playing days? I know you said driving the vans, and now I have to drive vans occasionally, not as long as you all did. Typically for us, it was when we flew somewhere, and then we got vans, and I got to drive one of them. Houston is absolutely one of the worst places to try and drive around.
Oh, sure.
But
Well, the conference now, we were in the Southern Conference, so, it was more the southern states of Florida and on up through there. We never flew anywhere when I played. We didn't, we didn't take planes. We took vans, and, so sometimes we'd have to drive because our assistant coach couldn't go. Maybe she had a class, or he was doing something. Matt would always drive. So some of my best memories, of course, was winning the Southern Conference tournament. First day of practice, my junior year there, after we had a tryout, and Louis had said, don't ever be late. If you're 15 minutes early, you're 15 minutes late. So, and she said, you'll regret it if you're late. So the first day of practice, the little girl who had tried out, she made it. Well, she was late. So we ran and ran and ran, and there was a track there was beside the field, or maybe that was my senior year. That was my senior year. So there was a track there beside the field, and that's all we did. She said, just put on your tennis shoes and let's go. I thought if anybody is ever late again, they're going to see me. They'll see the wrath of me. But then things like that. Oh, gosh, let's see. I remember when Louie asked what size shoe I wore. And I told her, and I said, why? She said, well, we're ordering workout, our shoes, our tennis shoes, and our cleats. I said, you're getting those for me? I don't have to get them for myself? Because at Morehead, we had to get everything ourselves. So I thought, man, I am high class up. This is high class stuff. So, things like that. Like she purchased, the school purchased everything for us, our shoes, our socks, we had practice clothes. I wasn't used to that. So things like that. And just, the team bonding. I do have to tell one on Louie that Louie always, she always fed us well. Every time we went somewhere, we were eating at places that we had never eaten at, because she was from the bigger areas and we were from Huntington. We had a few restaurants, but not the. Anyway, we always ate well. Well, we didn't have a very good game, or a couple games at one night, and so we were staying in our rooms. We were getting ready to go eat, we thought. Louis comes to our rooms at the hotel, throws a bag of potato chips and a 2-liter of pop and says, there's your dinner. So that's all we got. So we thought we better play better tomorrow. We're going to eat. So we were all sneaking down to the vending machines at the hotel room, trying to get something else to eat, crackers or something. So she was not a happy camper with us, but those are, I remember that. I remember, I remember our first game my junior year when we were playing. I think we played West Liberty at Rotary Field, and we got beat. And in a way, we were sort of embarrassed, not because of the team that we were playing. They were very good, because we thought, coming in, we're Division I, we've got to win, we've got to. But it made us work harder. It made us think, gosh, we've got a lot to learn as a team. So things like that, just the whole programs. It's been almost 30 years since I played, so the memories are are far and in between. You know, I don't remember a whole lot, but just some of them are just, you know, I'll always remember. I don't remember really getting hits or things like that. I do remember the home run at Furman and at Morehead, but other than that, I don't remember specifics. But just the camaraderie between the girls and how we just wanted to play ball. We were able to do that.
Well, I feel like honestly that's probably what most people remember, especially down the road. You know, maybe immediately after they'll remember, you know, God, that game that I was 0 for 4, you know, that was horrific. You know,
Right.
yeah, later on the 0 for 4 game will disappear, you know, and then you just end up remembering those things like driving the vans and, you know,
Right. I
bonding.
do remember when you mentioned one thing, and I do remember our assistant coach, Becky, I can't remember her, or my first year, my junior year, and we were playing at either Dayton or Wright State, one of those. And I was hitting, I had a good hitting game, and I was up to bat again, and Becky's on first, and Louie's, you know, of course, coaching third, and I hit one in the gap, and Becky stopped me at first base. And this is how old I am. And I said, "Why did you stop me? I mean, that could have been a double easy." And she said, "Well, because you just hit for the cycle." And I said, "What's hit for the cycle?" I didn't even know what it meant. And she said, "You hit a home run, a triple, a double, and a single." So I hit for the cycle in that game. And so I was mad at her for stopping me at first base where I could have made a double out of it. But anyway, so yeah, I do remember things like that.
You know,
that was fun.
finding that out, that actually kind of upsets me a little bit because, you know, when I do all of this research, unfortunately I'm not able to see a whole lot from those first couple years.
Right.
So, you know, I have to kind of just go by what's written in your bios, and I never see anything that said that you hit for the cycle. So
Yeah.
years ago, Maya Stevenson hits for the cycle at Charlotte, and I'm thinking this is the first one in program history. Now, you know, I definitely at least from 2000 because I have been able to see all of the box scores from 2000 up. But
Right.
that's great to find out, though, that there is another one. You know, it's not Maya. You know, Jeanne Noble was a part of
Well,
that.
like absolutely. I remember that game where she hit that, and I remember seeing the reports of it, and it's such a great accomplishment for anybody to hit. But like I said, I didn't even know what it was. I didn't know what that meant. You know, I was just mad because you stopped me at first base. And but no, it's you know, you how could you know that? That's not.
Yeah.
You know, they barely kept books back then. So.
Yeah, I've been trying to do as much digging as I can, you know, just
Oh, you do a great job, Scott. It's
oh,
really appreciated.
well, thank you. But now I know something else I can add to the record book. And okay, so you said that was your junior year, correct?
It had to be my junior year
Okay.
because Becky.
Because I do remember seeing in your bio that you hit a home run against Dayton, and so you
Okay.
you would
It was either Dayton or Wright
Wright
State.
State.
Yeah, Dayton or Wright State. I really can't remember. And maybe Wright State is in Dayton. If that's, I don't even know if
Well,
that's right. Okay, so maybe
they're
it was
both in the
Wright
same
State.
town. Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
yeah, but your bio did say that you hit a home run at least against Dayton. So, you know,
okay,
yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, something else. Hopefully I can a little bit more and keep adding to the record book. I love this stuff. So I'll have to tell Maya that she wasn't the first.
Oh no! Don't tell her. Don't tell her. It's okay.
You know, I think she might like it though. I mean, you know, especially if these are the only two. You had it in the first year, and then she had another one there in 2019. So I mean, you know, softball cycles are very hard to get because triples really don't even happen that often because because you know the field dimensions aren't that big, and so I mean you've really got to be blazing a lot of times for
and especially for you know a bigger girl, I guess you'd say, to get a triple. It must have been hit right perfectly wherever I hit it. It must have hit right perfect where I had to. So.
Oh no, that's great. I love it. That is perfect. That is a great story here. But you know, so finally, is there anything else you would like to tell the viewers? Anybody who may watch this video?
Oh, I just think, gosh, we just need to get out and support um, support Marshall and the program. Um, the previous coaches, Sean and Louie and the current coaches now, they do such a fantastic job of promoting the girls and getting the girls out into the community. I don't know how much more they could do, but I think as a community, we've got to support them and just keep rooting for them, and hopefully they'll get to play this spring. I totally felt terrible for those senior girls. I can't imagine. I know this virus is a real thing. I get it, I understand, but I can't imagine being a senior and not having those games for my memories. So they work so hard for that. But I just hope and pray that they can have a season this year. Know we're supporting them and praying for them, and just just hang in there and keep working hard. But for the viewers, just the community, just to support these girls and get out there and cheer for them.
And we really have been getting some great crowds coming out to the games. I remember even occasionally sometimes, newcomers, especially if they're not from around here, whenever they say, "Oh my gosh, did we just have a few hundred people for a fall ball game?" A game that didn't even count. And so, I mean, you all really were the building blocks and the stepping stones to get it to where it is now. So, Jeannie, thank you so much for joining me today. I really it was great.
Well, thank you for having me. And like I said, Marshall was just a great time in my life, and I can't imagine being anywhere else there. And I appreciate everything they ever did for me.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Jeanne Noble, Marshall Hall of Famer, and of course, one of the many in-state success stories for the Marshall softball team. Again, Jeanne, thank you very much.
Thank you.